Have you ever pondered the security of your web application? In a world where cyber are as certain as the sunrise, web application penetration testing has become an essential practice. Akhlaq, an IT security professional, will be your guide through this comprehensive journey of web application penetration testing. It's a simulated cyber attack against your web application to check for exploitable. So, how does it work? Let's break it down. First, there's the information gathering stage. It's all about identifying the target web application and gathering information about it. From the technology stack and framework to APIs and server details, all these pieces of information form the foundation for the upcoming stages. Next comes threat modeling. This stage involves identifying potential threats and vulnerabilities based on the application's architecture and functionality. Risks are then prioritized based on their potential impact and likelihood of occurrence. Then, we delve into configuration management testing. This phase checks for misconfigurations in web servers, application servers, and database servers. It involves reviewing default configurations, unnecessary services, and weak authentication mechanisms. Authentication testing follows, where we test for weak or default credentials, insecure password recovery mechanisms, and susceptibilities to brute force attacks and session management vulnerabilities. Authorization testing then verifies if the application properly enforces access controls. It involves attempts to access unauthorized resources or perform unauthorized actions. Session management testing checks for vulnerabilities like session fixation, session hijacking, and session replay attacks. It reviews the generation, transmission, and storage of session tokens. Input. Validation testing is next, where the application is tested for SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and command injection vulnerabilities. It also validates if input fields properly sanitize and encode data. Error handling testing evaluates how the application handles unexpected inputs and exceptions. It also tests for error messages that might reveal sensitive information. Sensitive data exposure. Testing checks for exposure of confidential data such as credentials, personal information, or financial data. It reviews data transmission over insecure channels and data storage practices. Cross-site scripting testing searches for XSS vulnerabilities in input fields, URLs, and cookies. It validates if the application properly sanitizes and escapes user-generated content. Cross-site request forgery testing, or CSRF testing, crafts malicious requests that execute unauthorized actions. It checks if the application uses anti-CSRF tokens to prevent such attacks. Security headers. Testing checks for the presence and effectiveness of security headers, such as content security policy, X-content type options, and XXSS protection. File upload testing evaluates potential vulnerabilities in file uploads, like allowing executable files or bypassing file type restrictions. It validates if uploaded files are properly sanitized and stored securely. API testing checks for vulnerabilities in APIs, such as authentication bypass, injection attacks, and insecure direct object references. Business logic testing looks for logical flaws in the application's workflows and business processes. It reviews how the application handles user roles, permissions, and sensitive operations. Finally, the reporting stage documents all findings, including vulnerabilities, potential risks, and recommendations for mitigation. It provides detailed steps to reproduce each identified issue and prioritizes findings based on their severity and potential impact on the application's security. Remember, penetration testing should be conducted ethically and with proper authorization from the application owner. Moreover, staying up to date with the latest security threats and testing techniques is crucial to ensure comprehensive coverage during the assessment. So, the next time you question the security of your web application, think about web application penetration testing. It's a comprehensive, methodical, and effective way to ensure your application's security against the ever-evolving landscape of cyber threats.